Tottenham will never win a trophy again. They are not a serious club. They'll be happy with a top 6 finish. With Harry Kane leaving for Bayern, Tottenham will only get worse, especially with this new Ange guy. Most football fans have said this about Tottenham Hotspurs in the last couple of months. Everyone expected Spurs to bring back Mauricio Pochettino or someone of Julian Nagelsmann's caliber. However, the North London club decided to bring in Ange Postecoglou. Harry Kane, the club's legend and all-time top goalscorer, also left for Bayern Munich, searching for the first title in his career. All these events made football fans, including the club's own supporters, question how serious Spurs are. But you can never judge a book by its cover, because it looks like Ange is on his way to changing things up at his new club. So if you want to see what he has done and why he's become one of the most talked about managers in Europe and how he is transforming Spurs, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and watch this video until the end. It's been 15 years since Tottenham last lifted a trophy, the 2008 League Cup, 32 years since they last won an FA Cup, and 63 long years since they won a league title. This explains why the London club is constantly being mocked for not competing for major trophies. After the success Mauricio Pochettino achieved, leading Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final, Daniel Levy, the club's owner, tried to take Spurs to the next level, appointing serial winners such as Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte as managers for the club. However, both experiments were complete failures, with Mourinho and Conte getting sacked halfway through their tenures. This time, Spurs board decided to go in an entirely different path, bringing in the Australian manager Ange Postecoglou. You probably heard about Ange last season, thinking he was an up-and-coming manager who impressed during his first years of his career. Well, you would be wrong. Ange has 20 years of managerial experience under his belt, dating back to the 1990s. He's won titles in Australia, Japan, and Scotland, and he even led the Australian national team to the 2015 AFC Asian Cup title. In 2021, Ange joined the Scottish Premiership to become the new Celtic manager. This is where he started to make a name for himself in European football. With Celtic losing their league title for the first time in a decade, the appointment of Ange received a lot of criticism north of the border, as they were suggesting that he was not the man to bring Celtic back to the top. However, he proved his doubters wrong. He went on to win a domestic double, while being awarded the League Manager of the Month 5 times in the process. Last season, Celtic continued to dominate Scottish football as they went on to win a domestic treble with Ange in charge. On the 6th of June 2023, just 4 days after completing his treble by winning the Scottish Cup, Ange was appointed as the new head coach of Tottenham Hotspur on a 4-year deal, becoming the first Australian manager in the history of the Premier League. Now that we have discovered who Ange Postecoglou is, let's look at what makes him unique. After all, the man has won trophies nearly everywhere he has went. Both Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte failed to deliver what they were expected to do during their time at Spurs. During the past 3 years, Tottenham has adapted a play style that many considered boring. Lining up in a 3-4-3, Spurs got the habit of sitting back, allowing opposition teams to press them, then trying to quickly transition the ball up the field to create counter-attacking scenarios using Son or Kulusevski's pace and creativity, with Harry Kane dropping deep to help with the transition. This style of play obviously wasn't successful, as both Mourinho and Conte got the sack before the season ended. However, by appointing Ange, Spurs have entirely deviated from this play style. During his playing days at South Melbourne, Ange was coached by the legendary Puskas, who played in a 4-3-3 attacking formation that encourages fullbacks to push high up on the field. This is where Ange Postecoglou got his inspiration for his tactics. Ange immediately chalked off the 5 at the back that Spurs have used to play in recent years and implemented his favourite 4-3-3. In the first game of the season against Brentford, Ange put faith in Basuma and introduced Destiny Udogie to the first team, while also giving newly recruited Cardio and Van de Ven their league debuts. At first glance, Spurs looked utterly different to last season, despite drawing 2-2 with Brentford. In the second game against United, Ange deployed Pedro Porro instead of Emerson Royale at right back and introduced Pape Matar Sarr in midfield. United were the better side in the first half, but in the second period of the game, Sarr gave the lead to his club, and thanks to Ange making some tactical tweaks by bringing in Højbjerg, Davies and Perisic, they killed off the game with a second goal. Ange maintained the same first 11 for the following game against Bournemouth, and the performances got even better. They won the game fairly easily with the 2 goals from James Maddison and Kuleveski. Never change your winning formation. That's what Ange did in the 4th game against Burnley. However, he made a little tweak of keeping the out-of-form Richarlison on the bench and using Son as a number 9 with Solomon starting on the left wing. This change proved a massive success as Spurs won the game 5-2 with Son scoring a hat-trick. Attacking, intense and position-based football, this is the main philosophy of Ange. The basic formation of 4-3-3 changes to a 2-3-5 during the game. Both fullbacks invert to central areas to join Basuma, with 2 8s, Maddison and Sarr, advancing further up the pitch to freely roam the opponent's areas. The 2 wingers stretch the field wide as much as possible, which allows the midfielders to make underlapping runs into the half spaces. This way, Spurs are able to have a numerical superiority in dangerous areas and break down the opposition's defence with quick combinations. James Maddison, brought in for 46 million euros from Leicester City, looks like a bargain with every game. He registered 2 goals and 2 assists so far and has been lethal in the final third for Spurs. With the number 9 dropping off to create space, Maddison combines with the left winger to generate shooting opportunities, and once you give him enough space and time, Madders will simply butcher you. However, many would think that James Maddison is the leading man behind the Spurs revolution thanks to his goal contributions, but in reality it is Basuma who is making the whole team tick. The Malian has been sensational as the lone 6 in Ange's plan. His technical ability allows him to surpass the opponent's press, conduct the game's tempo, and be the pillar of the build-up phase. His physicality has also been crucial as he can cover the space left by the advancing 2 8s. Unana, Shaw and Lisandro Martinez easily got past the Tottenham's press during Spurs' game with Manchester United. Still, Basuma provided enough cover to stop threatening transitions from happening. New goalkeeper Vicario proved to be a brilliant recruit too. The Italian has been brilliant when it comes to the build-up phase, while making some crucial saves in the process. He saved 16 of the 20 shots he has faced, which equals 80% in the first 4 games. Ange has inherited a squad that is used to a different style of football, but thanks to some of the tweaks here and new additions there, he's managed to put his fingerprint early on in this season. Spurs have won 3 of their 4 opening Premier League games this campaign, scoring 11 goals and conceding 6. The club looks entirely different from what we saw last year and is already playing intense and entertaining football. This is all thanks to Ange's tactics, man management, and his choice of personnel. He's revived Sarr and Basuma's careers as they became regular starters within this transformed Spurs side. Newcomers like goalkeeper Vicario and Van de Ven have also proving to be successful hits, while players like Son, Kuleveski, and Romero are rediscovering their form. To summarize how Ange has completely redefined this Spurs side, here's a quick stat for you. Last year, Tottenham had 408 total penalty area entries. This campaign, they've already had 87 in just 4 games. This highlights the change in his tactics, proving that Ange's system is already ticking. Tottenham might not win a trophy this year, especially with Fulham knocking them out of the League Cup second round. Still, the club supporters should be more than optimistic, especially with the positive early signs on display. It only took a few months for Ange to completely transform Spurs, so imagine what could happen if you're giving him more time and provided with the correct players to reinforce the squad depth. There is no doubt that Spurs will put in a serious title fight in the coming 2 or 3 seasons. Yes, it might sound too optimistic, but look at what Mikel Arteta did with Arsenal. He joined Arsenal with 0 experience as a head coach, but ended up winning the FA Cup in 2020 and seriously competing for the league title last season. It is no exaggeration to say that Tottenham has been the most entertaining side to watch in the Premier League so far. With Ange's new tactics, the players look hungrier than ever. All 11 men attack and defend together relentlessly, and that's why we believe Ange Postecoglou will go on to become a legend at the club. So what do you guys think? Are you entertained with Ange's heavy metal football style? Do you think Spurs will finally start competing for titles, or is it just a temporary honeymoon before everything sets up in flames? We would love to see your thoughts in the comments, and remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more football content. Thank you guys, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Peace.